We have the first outdoor consumption lounge in Oakland ever. We have a parking lot space. We have a good store. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
How do y'all? But they were so greedy. I'm not greedy like that. I want everybody to eat. You know what I'm saying? So their greed is why Blunts and More couldn't thrive like I needed to. But luckily for me, I was able to build enough of a name for myself in this legal space so people know it wasn't me. Graduated high school with honors. I was top 10 in grades when I graduated high school for all of Oakland schools. Not just the public schools, but all the high schools in Oakland. I was number 7 with grades.
That's incredible, man. You've been around me for a long time. I've talked about people from Oakland, and my biggest thing was we had some of the smartest, most driven people under the sun that put all that effort into illicit things. I was always like, if that same energy was going to something positive or not illegal, man.
Great businessman.
Great businessman, man.
And I didn't even have pounds back then. Like, I was still buying eighths and then bagging them up and stuff. I had to take my eighths and unbag them to make some of the weight because I wasn't buying pounds. The dude I was buying from got kind of spooked. He was like, man, you sure went up kind of fast. You went from just getting a couple eighths. Now you need a couple pounds. What you doing?
Yeah.
He thought something was wrong. I'm like, nah, man, they just buying the shit. I couldn't keep it.
All right, man. Legacy Lounge. Sometimes people want to talk.
We have an incredible guest here.
What's up, brother?
The definition of the Legacy Lounge is the stuff that he's putting together. He's a great community leader. His story is amazing.
And hey, welcome back to the lounge. We're on episode 38, and man, this is going to be a fun one because we're going to be all over the place. I got a straight-up entrepreneur in the house, Tucky Blunt Jr.
Yes.
And man, welcome to the lounge.
No, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. For real.
Oh, it's all good. We got the Oakland roots going. I know it's a recurring theme in the lounge. You know, I love it. Chris doesn't mind it at all.
I get super hyped. Hey, when Ray was here, because Ray got to tell like some serious backstories on Nene, and I'm like, oh shit.
Oh yeah.
He's got a nickname he didn't share with me. All right.
No, it's good. And shout out to Ray Young. We got straight up family in here today. Ray, you said y'all was on the bus together.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We used to ride the bus together, like for sure.
Man,
for sure. We I've known Ray since I was about 6-ish.
Man.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
7 at the latest. But yeah, we used to ride the bus together. He was going to Alameda. I was going to Oakland. 57.
Man, you are an absolute success story out of Oakland, man. You have your hands in so many things. You're busy right now, man. I've seen you on so many platforms, speaking all over the place. But man, you're with all the different businesses you have going is just the life lessons you learned along the way that got you going this way. Is that right?
Yes. I believe in the Heavenly Father. I call him Yahweh. And I believe I'm walking the path that Yahweh put me on, and I'm just doing things along that journey to keep them going right. Because you know about me just from knowing me off camera, but you couldn't write the life I have.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Like, and I even talking about it to be like, wait. That's how that happened? It's hard to believe, but I know it to be so because I'm living it. You know what I mean? It's had its up and downs, but I try not to live in the downs because that'll keep you down. I like living in the ups. So, it's been pretty cool. It's exciting. And then you get opportunities like this to share other people's platform and then introduce yourself to other people, including the people you're being interviewed by. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate y'all sharing y'all platform.
Man, it's great. And let's start right there, man. The story behind is really what the Legacy Lounge is all about, man. Give us a glimpse into what it was like when you're young. You're from Oakland, grew up where you go to school. Let me get that groundwork, man.
So born in San Leandro. San Leandro had a hospital that was called Vesper Memorial. It's called Physician something right now. It's right by Bayfair Mall.
Yep.
Basically, if you were on welfare and lived in a certain area, that most likely was the hospital you were born at. Born there, we had an apartment on 164th. My earliest memory there was about maybe age 2 or 3. Like, I can describe the apartment to the T right now. I remember my little rocking horse, whatever. But we ended up moving to Oakland when I was about 3-ish, 3 and a half. My parents bought a house on 64th. Young parents. My parents were 19 and 17 when they had me. Dad worked detail cars, worked McDonald's, worked at a bank. He was just a young hustler. Got that naturally.
Yep.
Mom was stay-at-home mom, had 3 kids by the time she was 17, had 2 sisters, and she taught us everything. I knew how to write, multiply, add and subtract, dates of the months of the year, time, all that by age like 4. Started school early. Went to school called Peter Pan in Alameda.
Oh yeah. Oh man.
That was elementary school?
Elementary school. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go back on this timeline.
I'm telling you, when we talked, I told you, I'm like, bro, we know each other and just didn't realize it. No,
Hey, I gotta bust him out. It's because he was, probably really slammed running the mortgage company because you had said he did your home loan, but maybe he didn't take the time to peel back the onion. You guys are from the same place.
Yeah, literally.
I mean, we don't normally talk about where we went to elementary school and during.
Right.
But when you did his home loan, how many years ago was that?
That was this year.
Oh, that was this year.
April.
Congratulations,
April 24th.
man.
Thank you. April 24th. We became homeowners. Yes.
I love
Thanks
it.
to this man.
But you guys knew it obviously that time that you guys had some roots from Oakland.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
We knew because we have talked before just from us connecting with the guy Brandon Payton, who connected us, is Gary Payton's brother.
Yep.
So I've known the Paytons and all their whole crew, Mr. Mean and everybody, since I was a kid because they had cousins who grew up on my block. So all my dad and my uncle went to school with Gary Payton's people, like his sisters and all that. So we knew we had ties, but no, I went to Peter Pan Academy.
That's wild.
I went to
I'm
Miss
gonna have to
Lucas'
ask my mom
funeral.
tonight.
When Miss Lucas passed, I went to her funeral.
Wow.
Like I remember Miss Lucas, Mr. Hawford, all them. I was that era.
wild.
You know I'm taking you back.
That's
so,
wild.
That was cool. 85 was great. That's when I'm in school. Doing great in school actually. And then my dad got into crack. That was the crack epidemic. So he started using, kind of like left us. My mom didn't have no jobs, 3 kids at the house. She don't know what the fuck to do. She like, all right, I can't pay rent because I don't work. I just teach the kids. So Pop's gone. He doing whatever his thing. He's back now. He's completely back, sober, all the stuff 30, 40 years ago. But back then, he was out in the streets.
Yep.
We had to go live with our grandmother, my mom's mom, on 65th, which is right around the corner from 63rd. This is all in the East 14th area. Actually, right by Lockwood Cleaners,
That's
which is crazy.
The cleaners we just
Everything
talking
we just talking about. This
Yep.
is where I grew up at. So we go to my granny house. As a young kid, being the first grandkid on both sides of my family, I was really observant. Plus, I also listened to talk to my mama all day. I was her like talking to thing, you know what I'm saying, until my sisters came along. And I would always peep stuff. We went and stayed with my mama, my grandmother. My grandmother berated my mama every single day. Every single day. Because this was her baby. This is my grandmother's baby child coming back home with 3 babies. So she's cussing her out and you stupid. And I'm hearing all this. I can understand, my granny in one room, she giving me a hug saying, I love you, grandson. You're the greatest grandson ever. And then going right upstairs and cussing my mama out.
Damn.
So on the way to school, my mama driving me from 65th to Alameda to drop me off at Peter Pan. She's talking to me about what's going on, son. It's not going to be like this. I'm going to figure it out, whatever. She falls into the drug war. So now she's stressing. She on drugs. We end up in a shelter because she's tired of dealing with my granny. So we moved to the shelter in Berkeley. So now we got to drive from Berkeley to Alameda. In a stick shift that she just learned how to drive with plastic on the window. I remember this car. It was a Datsun B210 station wagon, green. I'll never forget it. Had a plastic window in the back. Like I'll never forget it. But she taking us to the shelter back and forth, and she like, son, I can't get y'all on time. Your daddy is now going through rehab. I think he back cool. I'm gonna give y'all to your daddy. You know what I'm saying? So my daddy was like, oh yeah, okay, I'll come pick him up. We met at Winchell's in Shattuck on like 56 in Shattuck. It was raining. He dropped us off. Pops took us into his custody, me and my 2 sisters. Only thing was, Pops didn't take us to his house. He took us to his mama house. So I grew up at my mama house, at my dad's mom's house, which is fine, in the 80s on 80th, but my daddy stayed on 85th. And we never spent the night in his house.
Wow.
So love my daddy to death, but it was a lot that I seen growing up that I think kind of like molded me to where it's like I could have been negative, I could have been angry at different parents for different choices they made, but no, you got to accept that they did what they thought they were doing right by. And I think that molded me to where I'm so like just so positive. I don't let nothing bother me, bro. Like, like I'm 44. I know people that's my age that look like 80-year-old me.
That's right.
And I think it's because I try to stay positive with everything. But went through that. Still was doing good in school. Still a 4.0 student. Graduated high school with honors. I was top 10 in grades when I graduated high school for all of Oakland schools,
Let's
not just
go.
the public schools, but all the high schools in Oakland. I was number 7 with grades.
That's incredible, man.
We
and
gotta
it was-
stop right there for
Go
a
ahead.
second.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that sounds like some serious. You got a photographic memory too, by the way.
Yeah, and I remember this stuff like
Yeah.
verbatim. I be messing
catching
my
that.
parents. They're like, "You remember that?" And they like, I'm like, "Yeah."
So was the classroom kind of like your safe haven? Was that a place where you kind of were? I mean, were able to escape?
Yep. And I already knew how to succeed because I was taught that if you go to school, you know, that's all you had to do to get whatever you want. That's how it was, purpose to
Yep.
me as a kid. Go to school, you get whatever you want. That's your job is to go to school.
Yep.
And when I would get there, I wouldn't have to think or hear about nothing else. I could just focus on the books, and it was easy. Like right now, currently, I type 90 words a minute. I learned how to type in 7th grade and just never forgot. I don't even type not even just regularly. If I get on that computer right now and start to type, I'll be gone. But it's just school was fun to me. It was super cool. I just loved going. It was another place to meet people. It was just me and my mama for so long, and then me and my sisters, but they little girls. You know what I'm saying? So school was like you said, my out.
Now you don't hear that often for people out of Oakland. School ain't the cool thing to do. Was your friends into school? What was going on with that?
Yeah, no, everybody around me was in school, but I had my friends who were in the streets
Yep,
too.
of course.
I just looked at. I think what changed 100%. What changed me from not going into the streets technically, because I was still in the streets selling weed, but we'll get to how I was selling weed.
Yeah.
But the thing that saved me was 13. I got my first job. It was through a company called the Youth Employment Partnership, which is still in Oakland right now in the Dubs. They give youth opportunities jobs. So they had a summer job program that you can go through. We worked at Roberts Park, which is right by Skyline High School, and we had to make pancakes and stuff for the kids who were camping up there, like younger kids than us, maybe like 6, 7 years old. So I did that one summer. It was 40 hours a week because we was out of school.
Wow.
We had to catch the bus and walk up there because you couldn't my mama was not getting up and taking me to work. So I had to learn how to get on the bus and get up there, she taught us how to ride the bus, whatever. But I made it there. And when I got my first paycheck, I was like, whoa, this was $7.50 an hour. So you do $7.50 times 40. For a kid, I'm like, wow. So I'm like, I got homies making the same amount of money, and they taking a risk for going to jail. I'm making this, and I'm just coming up here to make pancakes. I took that check and went to Brown's Brothers and bought my first pair of shoes.
Man, Brown's Brothers
shoe
all
store in
day,
Alameda.
every day, man.
Yes. And I still talk to Greg Brown.
You serious?
Greg Brown is in the cannabis space.
Man, no
Crazy.
way.
Yes. He's a general manager of a cannabis club. I still talk to him. Shout out Brown's Brothers. But
Brown's Brothers is the stuff. You would love it, Chris.
that changed me. Once I seen I could buy the stuff I wanted without having to stand on a corner to sell a drug, I was sold. I'm like, well, I'm just gonna keep getting a job.
Chris, you've been around me for a long time. I've talked about people from Oakland, and my biggest thing was we had some of the smartest, most driven people under the sun that put all that effort into illicit things. I was always like, if that same energy was going to something positive or not illegal, man,
Great businessman. and
great
women.
businessman, man.
Sky's the
Talking about
limit.
that. Yes.
Crazy.
And that's kind of what I took with it. And then once I got cannabis involved, it was a wrap because I knew then I could sell anything I want to sell you. I could sell you at work, and it's guaranteed money.
Yeah.
Because we work together. I know when you get paid.
Yeah.
So it was it clicked for me. It was like selling. It wasn't just weed. I detail cars. I've been detailing cars since I was 8. Yeah. My daddy handed me a buffer at 8, but I was already washing cars before then. But I detail cars. I used to throw parties back then. Just all kind of whatever I was into, I was gonna sell you at work. And if you bought it, I wouldn't have to go nowhere else to get money. So work was my turf. Instead of being on the street, I used work as my turf. And it worked out pretty good.
Yes, it did. Man, and that's the mentality right there, man.
Yeah.
So, all right, keep going with the timeline. You graduated with honors from school,
Graduated
man.
with honors from school. I went to San Jose State, but I was 16 when I graduated, and I went to San Jose State,
16?
and that wasn't too smart. It was too close to home, so I was able to get out of class and go home and hang out and kick it, and I wanted to be with the girls. Like
Yeah, of
I'm
course.
16. I'm like, I don't want. School is cool, thanks, but I'm tired of school at this point
Yeah.
because I had done what I thought was what I needed to do. My 12 years, I graduated high school. Okay, parents, I can go do what I need to do, and that's kind of like what I was on. So I quit. I did maybe 3 weeks at San Jose State, and it was over.
He said 3 weeks.
It was over. So, mind you, I'm 16.
Uh-huh.
I do know that if I don't go to school, I got to have a job. I can't just be at home.
Yep.
So my dad at the time, he was getting out of what they call Narcotics Anonymous, NA, and he got a job at Lucky's in 1989 pushing carts. He, 30-year-old man, but this is what he had to do to start back over. Moved up hella fast because he always had good customer service. Because my daddy's sharp, but he just got overpowered by a drug.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? For a period of time. So all his skills never left. So he ran up the chain. 1996, he's working at Southland Lucky, the grocery store at Southland. And they're finna open a new one on 9th Street in Oakland. So he like, son, you want to work here? I can't work with you. Parents couldn't work with their kids.
Oh,
at
really?
Lucky. So he was like, you can come to Southland. Southland worked better for me because, it was a better environment. I was going to Hayward, cool.
Yep.
I started working there. I was selling weed at the time, but I was only selling it to like maybe 2 or 3 people.
Yep.
My daddy, unbeknownst to me, I knew my daddy sold weed, but unbeknownst to me, he was supplying everybody there. I didn't know this. So he's supplying all the Lucky, didn't know this. All my managers, everybody that interviewed me, he was selling weed to. So one day I happened to be off, but I was at Southland. I happened to be smoking, and one of my coworkers seen me and smelt it and was like, dude, what is that? And I was like, what you mean? He's like, man, is that weed? I'm like, you don't smoke no weed? He's like, I do. He's like, I'll buy, how much can you give me of that like right now? He ain't seen it or nothing. So I'm talking mess. I'm like, what would you want? He was like, like a zip. Can I get like an ounce? I'll call my boy. I'll let you know in about a week.
Yeah.
He was on me every day. Finally, I sold him an ounce. Yeah, he went and told the whole staff. So now the whole staff is buying weed from me. They're like, oh, is this your daddy weed? Because he had never had none of this, but my daddy had good, but they just hadn't had what I had. So I took all his clients. He didn't care. He didn't know. They just stopped, whatever. He's gone. But then I was able to realize, then again, not only am I at work getting a check, I'm at work selling this product too. Oh, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. It was a wrap. I sold 1.5 pounds in 4 days. And I didn't even have pounds back then. Like I was still buying eighths and then bagging them up and stuff. I had to take my eighths and unbag them to make some of the weight because I wasn't buying pounds. The dude I was buying from got kind of spooked. He was like, man, you sure went up kind of fast. You went from just getting a couple eighths. Now you need a couple pounds. What you doing?
Yeah.
He thought something was wrong. I'm like, nah, man, they just buying the shit. I couldn't keep it.
Yeah.
So I just kept doing it. It was, for me, it was a business. I never looked at selling weed as a hustle.
Yeah.
It was not a hustle for me. I strategic. I knew how much I was making. I knew who was, like, every weed client was a bill. I had a cell phone back then. I wasn't going to a payphone. I had a beeper, all the stuff.
Yep.
All those bills I looked at, because I got allowance, but allowance wasn't covering my lifestyle. I had a car. I needed gas. So I went to work for it. So weed became my money to do for all my other stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I applied that rhetoric forever. 1999, I'm on an errand with my grandmother, the grandmother who was cussing out my mom. I'm on an errand with her, running her around, doing her whatever she want to do. She has me go somewhere on 19th and Telegraph to get her some medicine. I don't know what she's talking about. She come out, she got a white bag. She opened it, there's weed in the bag. I said, Granny, you got weed out of there? She's like, yeah. I said, oh yeah, I want one of them. And she was like, well, whenever you get one, I'm going to be there every day. And that next day, I went and got my first cannabis card. I went and started working at a bunch of different cannabis clubs just to immerse myself in it. Because to me, I'm like, this is the next step. This is what I want to do.
Yeah.
These are people actually going in a store, buying weed from people. I'm like, man, this is great. Like,
At that point, did you even know cannabis clubs
No.
existed?
She took me to my first cannabis club, my grandmother.
Like, when were cannabis clubs start finally popping up?
96.
96.
So, when I
16
started
years
selling
old
weed.
at the time.
Yep, and I didn't know. But 99, I went to my first one, and that was when the Prop 215 days and stuff had just got passed. So there was cannabis clubs from Oakland all the way to Hayward. Like, just on Mission alone, it was like 15. And I would go in there, buy my weed from the clubs because they would have some of the stronger weed, and then I'd mix it in with my weed I'm buying from my associates on the street, and then I resell it. And then by me doing that, it allowed me to meet people at the stores. And I'm looking around, I'm like, okay, I've met a few owners, but none of the owners look like me. All the owners are different colors, and none of them are even Mexican or even, I always say it wrong, so if anybody's on here, please don't get mad at me. What do you call, I want to say Indians, but they're not Indians. What is the proper name to call, is it Arabs?
It could be.
Because they could be Indians if they're from India, but what I'm saying is you didn't see nothing but white people.
Exactly.
Were the owners.
Yeah.
And that bothered me because That's the only, like, and I met the owners. They were cool with me, but they was like, yeah, you guys are never owning this space. I'm like, whoa, why? They was just
They
like,
said that to you?
Yo, yeah. And they meant, they wasn't like trying to be down on me, but they meant it because they felt we wouldn't have the business acumen to run that type of business, to deal with that kind of money, but I'm taking notes the whole time. I'm seeing how everything is playing out. I'm like, I can do this. So, Faye will have it. I'm in the space doing what I'm doing, still working, still throwing parties, hanging out, kicking it. 2005, I got snitched on. One of the guys I was buying weed from, it's crazy. Me and him used to go to the shooting range. I'm going to the shooting range because I'm trained to be a probation officer. I applied for Alameda County to be a probation officer.
Oh.
So me and him go to the shooting range. That's where we do our transaction at. I will buy from him 2 days a week, a set amount every 2 days. And because I bought from like 7 or 8 different people, I always had different flavors. But this particular dude, our schedule was Tuesday and Thursday.
Yep.
Bam. We do our thing. He dropped me off. He tell me, he say, I got some extra on me this time. Do you want it? I don't believe in credit at all. It's not my thing.
Yeah.
I said, I got about an extra 1,000 on me. I'm going to have to owe you 600, but I need you to come get that 600 tonight. Like, I don't have it on me now when you drop me off, but I need you to get that money tonight. He's like, it's good, no problem. He drops me off. This is a Thursday. I start work on Monday. He knows I start work on Monday because we're talking about it on the way back. He hella happy for me. I'm like, man. He dropped me off. I get out of my car. I see the police come up the street. I'm going to my other car, and I realize I didn't have my car charger. From that day forward, I always had chargers in each car. But I'm going back to my car to get my charger. I'm still standing next to my car. Police pull up, say, yeah, we got a call that a white over gold LTD has a gun and weed in it. I said, well, I don't know who the fuck told you that. So the one cop I'm talking to is named Randy Wingate. Super cool. They doing their job. Police didn't bother me because I wasn't a turf dude.
Yeah.
I just happened to be out there because I was in between jobs and I was just kind of like hanging out, but I was still selling weed.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So I was on the turf for the first time ever. Remember I told you I sell all my weed at work. Turf was fun though. I ain't gonna lie. I see why niggas was outside. I get it. But no, don't be outside. So while he's talking to me, Randy Wingate, chief of one of the sergeants in the OPD, there's another cop going around my car named Ursi Joyner. Shout out to both of them, both my arresting officers. Ursi Joyner, people, he may sound familiar to people, but he was in a shootout at a gas station in West Oakland. So people tried to rob him. He killed 2 of them.
Wait, was he like not in uniform?
No, he's retired OPD. He wasn't in uniform at all. But at the time they tried to rob him, he's in the cannabis space. So this is after he arrested me. So this is 20 years later. So when he was a cop, that's what he was doing. He was fucking with us. But as fate will have it later, people wouldn't know that name Ursi Joyner because about 3 years ago, he got in a shootout at West Oakland and killed 2 people trying to rob him. He's currently head of security for some cannabis companies.
Wow.
But at that time, he was arresting me for selling cannabis.
Wow.
So he's finna go around my car and break my window because I tell him, I don't know what y'all talking about. I don't got no weed. I don't got nothing. So he's finna break out my window. And me, I've never been arrested before. So I'm thinking, don't break my window. I'll just tell you what it is. It's cool. Had I not done that, I probably would have not even be talking to y'all because my store would have never opened because had he broke my window and I allowed him to, that whole arrest would have been a sham. None of those charges would have stuck. I wouldn't have qualified for the social equity program. So I don't know none of this. That's why I believe in a higher power. I just tell him, man, I don't want him to break my window because my car clean. Like, why would you do that? Don't break my window.
Yeah.
It's a gun right there. My case is right there. Here go my gun card. And I said, I think I got like $80 worth of weed in my trunk. They go to the trunk, they take the weed, they take me downtown. They tell me if I give them some information, they'll let me go. I say, no, I ain't got no information for you. Take me to jail.
Yep.
I bail out the same night, and I keep going. Don't stop nothing. Keep selling weed. I don't know who snitched on me at the time, but I'm just like, all right, I can't be outside no more. Let me just get back to work. I started work Monday, lunchtime, 400 Broadway, across from Nations. I'm coming down the stairs to go to lunch. Officer Wingate is walking up the stairs. I say, hey, Wingate. He look up. He say, oh, Mr. Blunt. I said, I told you I had a job. I'm in my tie. I'm in my slacks, everything. I said, I told you I had a job. I told you I started working at probation on Monday. He was like, man, you was serious. All right, cool. I ran back into that man 15, 17 years later when I opened my store because I was getting robbed, and we all on a phone call. And on the phone call is Randy Wingate. I ain't talked to him since I got arrested.
Crazy.
So when we all introducing ourselves, I'm like, hey, y'all, as fate will have it, the reason I qualified for the program, I was arrested by the cop that's on this call. The whole call shut down. They was all like, whoa. So we started texting each other behind the scenes. But that's the kind of stuff I'm living in, bro. Like, who would have thought getting told on, getting snitched on, one of the royal sins you don't do in any kind of illegal space. me getting told on led to me getting a license to open a legal store 13 blocks from where I was arrested.
That's crazy. And tell the listeners about the equity program that you qualified for because of that arrest.
So Oakland in 2016 authored a program called the Social Equity Program for Cannabis, which would give people who caught cannabis charges and cases opportunities to own in the legal cannabis space. Like if you're going to have cannabis and you're going to have people in jail for it, which is crazy if you have it legally, but you need to give people who went to jail for it an opportunity to make some money in this space. I became the first ex-felon for cannabis sales to own and open a dispensary.
Number one, the first one.
Was not in my plans, was not in my cards, did not expect to be like a face or a voice of none of that. I just wanted to sell weed, but I understand the value of the position that I'm in, and I feel like if I had a me coming into the space, I would have been better off. So I have to be the me for other people.
Wow.
If that makes sense.
Wow. That's an incredible route to become a pioneer.
Man, and just didn't know. I just kept, and then all the stuff I've ever done that led up to that point, and therefore even meeting y'all, everything has literally just been compiling. It's like, every step leads to the next step, and I'm just doing it with good intention.
Yeah.
Me and my daughter went to church last week, and the message was give without expecting anything in return, be a generous giver. And I was telling her my interpretation of that, like, baby, anything I do, I don't expect nothing in return. I believe that if good people know good people, they should work together. Now, if they make a bag and they think that they should bless me with something out of whatever they did, then that's on them to do that. I'm not connecting them expecting a bag. And she was like, okay, I get that. I said, that's part of being a generous giver. But I said all that to say, like, I'm only in these positions by continuously doing stuff like this and moving around the right way. Because I believe if I wasn't, then I wouldn't be here. You know what I mean?
Wow.
I mean, listening to the story, you talk about your faith. I mean, is your faith something that has been there always?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We was brought up, my daddy's side of the family went to church. My mama's side of the family, before I was born, was Jehovah's Witnesses. And then they, we call it non-denominational, but they call it Heavenly Father. Well, I call it Heavenly Father Yahweh. Yahweh, Elohim, Yahshua is Lord God, Jesus Christ. Same three, but the name as opposed to the title. But I grew up in it. I knew all the books of the Bible as a kid, went to all the vacation Bible schools. I knew the value of prayer because it was taught to me, and then I could actually see when I do the work for prayer. As a youngster, I would pray, and I wouldn't pray for nothing crazy, but I was just like, man, help me get this A on this test. But to do the work to get the A on the test, you got to study.
That's right.
So I apply that to everything. Like I can pray that my kids do good in school or become successes, but what am I doing to put them in position to be successful? You know what I'm saying? How am I allowing them to achieve that? So yeah, it's been in me, and I wouldn't be here without it. Like there's no way I would be where I'm at. Like I done woke up in the trunk before. You know what I'm saying? Like what? By somebody who I knew. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm very trustworthy and kind of like to a fault, but I'm like, I'm going to give you a chance to fuck over me if that's what you're going to do. Because, again, that's going to be on you.
Yeah.
That's going to be on you. It's going to be on your conscience, on however you deal with your life. But I don't feel like I should shortchange anybody because of your shortchanging me. And I just kind of like kept that motto. It'd be hard sometimes. Sometimes you want to break down and cry and you're like, oh, man, what am I doing this for? But, again, I don't live there. I visit it. I'll go hang out. I may even have one drink there, but I'm not living there. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather live in the what if. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's why that's why I'm here.
Oh man, that's incredible.
So through that journey, I mean, you touched on, I would say that a lot of kids didn't grow up like you. I mean, you had parents that were super young. You were living at one of your grandparents' house, and talk to us about the relationship you have with your parents.
So what's crazy is love both my parents. I know they love me to death, but they still can't stand each other all these years later. And I've had conversation with both of them recently. My mom, she hates that I even talk about her in interviews. She wants to choke me anytime she sees it. I'm like, Mama, you can't tell me how to tell my story. I'm not lying on you. I'm not saying anything wrong. I'm just telling my story. And I told her recently too, like, you've been an excellent mom. Both my parents have been great. They got their ups and downs. I said, but there's certain things that you did with us that I wouldn't do with my kids. But that doesn't make you a bad mom.
Yeah.
You did those things because you felt like you needed to do them. One of the great things that my dad has told me and I live by it is take what you like and leave the rest. And I respect that. Like I took what I like from my daddy, hustling, detailing cars, gift the gab, knowing how to paper shuffle. I take that. But what I don't like, I don't take. I don't deal with. But my relationship with both of them are good. But my mother is she's a different breed. My mother is going to most likely die alone with no friends. She's one of them, like, whenever I see her friends in the street, like, how your mama? I said, well, this week I'm a demon. They're like, me too. So we be laughing about it because she'll just go off on you for no reason. Love her to death, but I just know my mama, she needs some friends. She like pushes everybody away.
Yeah.
But a good-hearted woman, I just think my mom need therapy, to be totally honest with you. My mama does not believe in therapy because most of our parents of that age, that wasn't offered to them. They don't even know what therapy is or how to even look at that in the right framework. It's how we look at it now in our age with our kids, and just it's different. She doesn't believe she needs therapy. She believes her therapy is talking to her Heavenly Father. That's a form of therapy. It is. But there's things that you need to go to therapy for in order to let go.
Yep.
Both of my parents, if I call my daddy right now and tell him I'm sitting with my mama, he's going to be highly irritated. If I call my mama and tell her I'm sitting with my daddy, she's going to be highly irritated. That's a problem.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Love them to death, great relationship with both of them, but they've neither one of them ever been in therapy. There are things that they need to go to therapy for, to work on for them in order to be better with us as their children overall. But again, that's not a knock on them. They went through, they were kids who were giving their opinion, kind of like how we were. You know what I'm saying? My kids have an opinion. You know what I'm saying? We can talk. Hey, let's talk. All right, you want to talk to me just as your friend today? You can talk to me for about 5 minutes as your friend, then I'll be a parent the other 15. But we didn't get that. You know what I'm saying? And that's not a bad thing on them. They couldn't give, they weren't giving.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, my sex talk as a kid was just wear condoms. What? That's it?
Yeah.
That's it? But they weren't taught. That's how my mom ended up with 3 kids by the time she's 17.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because her first time she had sex, she had me. She didn't know no better.
Yeah.
So I can't expect them to give me what they didn't have. But if you know that there's ways to help you learn more or open up and do what you need to do, then that's on you for not choosing that. And I have a right to say that you're tripping for not doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Love them to death, though. Love them to
yeah.
death.
Oh yeah. Man, let's go back to the timeline though. So man, you know, you get the opportunity to open a location, man. How was that, man? What did you since you've been paying it close attention to it, when they gave you the ability to it, did it jump right into it? Was it easy? Was it hard? Tell me about that.
This would be hilarious. So 2017 is when I heard about the equity program. I'm sitting on my laptop and I get a phone call. At the time, I was working for Tesla. Tesla reached out to me in early 2017 to be a certified detail trainer, a position that they didn't have. They wanted me to create. They was like, hey, I thought it was spam because they hit me on my LinkedIn. Shout out LinkedIn. I'm definitely plugging them because they have helped me do a lot just with job stuff. Super dope. But I'm in between jobs, and one of my homeboys who I'm a big gamer, so I'm on Xbox a lot. One of my homeboys on Xbox, who's my friend in real life, he was like, hey, bro, put your profile on LinkedIn. You got too many things that you do. Make you a LinkedIn page and put it out there. So I do that. I get hired. Tesla reach out to me. I think it's spam for like 2 months. We finally talk, and it ain't spam. They're like, no, we want you to come teach people how to detail cars, but we don't know how much to pay you. You can throw us an offer. I'm like, what? What are my off days looking like? They're like, you make your off days. You're going to travel a lot because we want you to go to different Teslas to train. I'm like, yeah, I need 150. Plus benefits. They said, no problem. I'll get busy. So I start doing my thing. I'm training. Everything's going great. I'm really feeling good. Tesla ends up hiring like 15 people while I'm down in LA trying to learn how to train. It's me and some other trainers. I'm their supervisor, but we're all trained together so we can go back to our individual teams, right? The guy who interviewed me and hired me, who said he's going to do, so happy I came on, he hired 15 people. He has to train them 15 people because I'm not there to train them. He's mad at that and gets mad at me. So when I come back in town, he tries to fight me.
What?
Literally. Crazy. I'm sitting there looking like, for real? So the lady who's over him, because people that don't work at Tesla has a weird hierarchy of how they do like management stuff. It's very weird. But long story short, his supervisor comes to me and she's like, oh, I'm gonna make sure this goes down. Don't trip. You didn't do nothing wrong. I'm like, I know I didn't do nothing wrong. I'm here now to train him. I can't train people when I'm down in LA.
Yeah.
I get a call that same night. Him on the phone and HR. Mind you, he ran up, literally, physically ran out of a building to come try to fight me. But he's on the phone with HR. You can't do that, but whatever. They can. They're Tesla. So I get fired. When I get fired, I still have my laptop. I try to get him the laptop back. They don't take it. So my homeboy who connected me on LinkedIn, I have him wipe the computer because he's a computer dude. So now the computer is mine. Now we're back to that phone call. Phone call 2017. I'm on the Tesla computer. My homeboy called. He said, "Hey, Tucky, you ever caught a weed case in Oakland?" The guy who calls me is Mike Marshall. Mike Marshall is the voice of the song "I Got Five on It." The guy who's actually singing the "I Got Five on It." He calls me and say, "You ever caught a weed case?" I'm like, "Yeah, I have. Why?" He said, "There's a program called Social Equity. It's two sisters out of Atlanta, a mother-daughter team. They know the business side, but they don't know anybody in Oakland that's caught a case that they can partner with to open a store." So while he's talking to me, I'm looking it up on the computer, and I'm like, "Dang, all right, this is actually a legit program." I'm like, "Well, what they want from me?" He's like, "They don't want nothing. They just want to meet you." I said, "Well, what you want? Because you at the same time, if you plugging in this work, we know what you want, bro."
Yeah.
He like, "Well, I'm growing some of my own weed, so if y'all do get a store, can I put some of my products in your store?" I'm like, "That's an easy call."
Exactly.
I said, "Then I'll throw like 5,000-10,000 on top of that just on GP for you even calling me. But
Yep.
we got to make sure the deal go all through and we
Yep,
open."
yep.
He like, "It's good." I go meet with the mom and daughter team. Her last name is Moore. My last name Blunt. That's where the Blunts and Moore came from. But I go meet her with my youngest daughter. We go to Red Robin and Concord. We having a meeting. I'm talking to them just like I'm talking to y'all because I'm thinking, again, I'm trusting you. This going to be on point. I'm telling you, yeah, we can do this. I'm ready. I'm from the community. Let's work. They telling me all the stuff I want to hear. We submit the application in December of 2017. January 31st of 2018, they had a bingo ball drawn in Oakland where you take a bingo ball, you show it to the camera, you throw it in the chamber. It was 36 balls. They roll the chamber around, pick a ball out every time. If they pick your ball out, you lost. If you was one of the 4 remaining balls in the chamber, you won a license. That's how I won my license.
So there was a lot of people that were putting their apps in to get a license.
Oh, yeah. And they only ended up selecting 36 total. And then out of those 36, it was a bingo ball drawing to do it. I put our ball in third overall because it went by alphabetical order. Our name was Blunts and Moore, and my last name was Blunt. So I put our ball in third. So for our ball to still be one of the remaining 4, we had a couple times where they rolled in, 2 balls came out, so they had to put it back in and re-roll it.
How many people do you think they only took 36? How many people applied?
I'm sure well over 1,000.
What?
I'm sure.
Crazy.
Wait, and so who's the Moore?
Moore was the daughter, the mother-daughter team that I went and met. So when I went and go meet them, we did, like I said, I met them in September. We had a license in January. So I'm still learning them. I'm thinking they cool, they black, they sisters, they mom and daughter. I'm thinking they on point. They came with a cannabis attorney that they had on their team, a white guy, just for reference. And then they had a black guy who's kind of like the money man, who can like tell us the money made sense. So this was our team. It was 5 of us.
Okay.
Me and 4 other people I don't know.
Dang.
4 other people who all know each other.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
So that's already a iffy
exactly.
situation.
I'm not liking how this starts.
Exactly. It's
Yeah,
real
I'm
janky.
trying to put the pieces together of what the connection with them and you and why they need you. And even I understand the gentleman that sung the hook of "I Got Five on It," which, by the way, that's super iconic.
Super.
He's reaching out to you from a businessman standpoint because he wants to put his product into a store. This is also like kind of groundbreaking time. Well, maybe I shouldn't say groundbreaking time. Were there a ton of cannabis stores?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
Okay.
But none under this type of program.
Got
Yep.
it. Okay.
So yeah, no, it was not. And then him even reaching out to me, which was even, I've known Measy maybe at that time by like 3 years on a fluke. I know all of the loonies, Yuckmouth and Numbskull, and I hit Yuckmouth one day and was like, "Hey, I want to connect with OG Mike Marshall. I want to send him some seeds. I see he growing weed up north. I want to send him some seeds. You think he'll be cool with that?" I'm the kind of person I just, I'm old school. I believe in making a connection the right way.
Yeah.
And Yuckmouth was like, "No, go ahead. I'll connect you with him." He connected me with him, and me and Mike built ever since. I just gave this. I don't know this man from Adam. I was a fan of his, but I gave him like 300 seeds. Here, do what you do. And I didn't want nothing. I said, just grow them and tell me if you like them.
Yeah.
I didn't want nothing back from him. And we just built from that.
That's incredible.
Because I asked him all the time, I said, "Bro, you know so many people from Oakland. Why did you call me out of all people?" He said, "Tuck, from the day I met you, even just when you came to my house on Thanksgiving with your kid and just how you move, you need to be in business." And that's just what made him call me. And yeah, we started off cool to my knowledge. I'm thinking everything is great. We ended up finding a location because that was the problem. You got a license on the 31st, but you got a certain amount of days where you get before you have to get a LOI, letter of intent.
Yeah.
Because if you don't get a letter of intent in time, they won't give you your license.
Yep.
So we're going through that process. The city at the time, they didn't have real good like references for us. It was new. So we were like kind of like the guinea pigs. They sitting us down in front of deals with liens on the property, all kind of weird shit.
Yeah.
So we end up seeing a location. First of all, how we end up seeing this location. When we won the license that day, out of all the people that won the license, only 2 of us was there. 4 people won the license, only 2 groups was there. So the other people who lost were all still in the room. So now they're all running to the people who won, trying to give them their business card. Hey, let's work together.
Yeah.
There's one particular group gave me a folder. I won't say their name because they're fuck boys, but they gave me a folder. And when they gave me the folder, I started putting all the other people information in the folder. But I kept that folder next to my bed because the location where it was the old Napa Auto Parts on 66, which is right across the street from the Coliseum.
Yep.
So after we going through seeing a bunch of properties, I tell them, they all from Atlanta. They don't know. I said, hey, y'all, we need to go look at this location. Mind you, at the time, it's my license. I'm the person from Oakland, but I don't really feel like I have a voice because I don't know as much as them.
Exactly.
You understand what I'm saying? So like my voice wasn't as strong, like saying, hey, we need to go here. It was kind of like, hey, you guys, do you think, we should go there? So I had to play that. I got them to go. We go there. I understood the significance of the location. It's right across from where the Raiders, the Warriors, and the A's are playing. It's the old Napa Auto Parts building. So it had different meanings for me. It was in the same zip code I got arrested. I'm like, we need to be here. So when we go, the guys, they like, yeah, well, we can rent it out to you because they went to get a license, but they didn't win. So they still had a space because they grew weed, but they had a store retail front space. And of course, they wanted ownership. Give us ownership and we'll help you. I'm like, no ownership. But we worked out a deal to where they didn't get ownership, but we bought weed from them. They gave us a loan for startup capital.
Okay.
We paid them more than we should pay for rent. We paid $4 a square foot for rent. That's a way kind of like, we giving y'all some extra money for helping us. But we basically came in with a deal where they gave us startup capital, loan. We paid them to be a management group because, again, remember I said my partner and them, they were supposed to be managing.
Yeah.
But now we paying them to manage. So that already started making, I'm like, dang, something ain't right. Why are we hiring them to manage if y'all going to be the manager? But again, I still don't know. I'm still learning all of this. Long story short, we bring in everything's in place. I think it's running smooth. They're stealing the entire time. And went and opened a store in Oklahoma. And they took like 5 employees that they hired and overpaid. It was a whole lot going on. Like they kicked me out the store. Kicked my brother out the store. My brother is cousin Dre. He's an on-air personality on iHeart, and he was at the store. I had him working too. I'm like, let me get some of my people in here. Fired him for no reason. Kept me out the store because they was doing what they was doing. So we caught him, fired him, got rid of him. But while this is going on, while I'm being stolen from, I'm being robbed 3 times. I'm talking about one of the robberies was when George Floyd was murdered. They was in my store 9 hours, just ransacking the store. Everything was gone but the walls.
9 hours?
9 hours straight. No police intervention. Because this is when everything was getting... Remember when George Floyd was murdered and everybody was looting?
Yeah.
My store was one of the people that got looted. It was one of the places that got looted like that. I'm talking about... And I watched it on camera. I'm looking at it like, wow. 9 hours. They could have went to sleep and woke up in the store. There was nothing. So all this is going on while I'm being robbed by my partners. I'm still smiling, still trying to do interviews. I'm getting robbed. I'm doing sway. While the thing is happening I'm at sway.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm doing interviews and still trying to get the word out, getting robbed. Still reopen. While I'm there, let me not just be in the negative. While I'm there, I was able to launch about 100 different brands out of my parking lot, from food vendors to clothing vendors, people who needed places to sell but didn't have safe space. Come sell at my store. I'm not going to charge you a dime. Because you're going to have people come, while they were supporting you, they're going to come and support me.
Wow.
And vice versa.
Oh, wow. That's
so,
good.
That's
you know what
dope.
I'm saying? Like, and then with where it's located, my staff didn't have really nowhere to go for lunch. So my thing was, if I could bring food to y'all, not that I want to keep y'all at the store, but y'all don't have to go. There's nowhere for y'all to go get food. If I can have 2 or 3 food trucks here every day, different options, then y'all can go to food trucks. Now I tell the food trucks, I'm not going to charge y'all, but y'all got to give my staff food for free or supremely discounted. And they was like, oh, no problem. Kicked off a lot of well-known brands that have restaurants and mobile food trucks and stuff now.
Clean, man.
But remember I said the stuff I was doing back in 05 when I was throwing parties? I did the same thing then.
Yeah.
When I would throw parties, I would have vendors come in, clothing vendors, food vendors. I wouldn't charge them. And I would work a deal with them where they would pay me a little money to do other things in the venue, but y'all got a space to sell y'all products at.
Yeah.
So I just applied that. That's why I kept telling my previous partners, I'm like, I can get people here. Let's figure out a way to help the community make money. And that's what I did, but they was stealing. So fast forward, got them out, was thinking about closing. Really was thinking about closing because to me it just wasn't worth it. I had been working 3 years and hadn't made no money. I made money all my years of selling weed. I've never not made money. So this is the first time that I haven't made money. And I understand it's business, yada, 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 but Had I not been being stole from, we could have actually seen some money.
For sure.
So I re-partnered up, and I partnered with my landlord. My landlord, they had seen everything that had went on. So y'all should already know what's what.
Yep.
We talking, these people came to my wedding. The 2 owners of this company came to my wedding, thinking we good. All right, cool. They was stealing. Only difference is with them and the previous group, I was in the meetings with them looking at the board. So they would have, you know, Excel spreadsheets. I'm looking at them, everything lined up to the T. I can see them. They send them to me every week. Everything was on above board. But I'm in the streets and people who I've never met before, because I don't sell the weed. I'm the face. I don't buy weed from people. I don't, you can leave me a sample, I'll smoke it, but no, my staff is going to sample the weed because they're the ones got to sell it.
Yep.
You'll never meet me to sign over nothing. That wasn't my role in the company on purpose. That was strategic. That I did know. But somebody come up to the street to me and say, hey, Tucky, we ain't been paying like 6 months. What? What's your name? I pull it up. Look, and say, yo, Tucky, we ain't get that payment. I'm like, huh. So after hearing that about 10 times, I pitched to them. They don't know what I'm talking about. My general manager, who they fired, ended up saying, Tucky, now that I'm gone, I was conflicted because I didn't want to be like, I know I work for you and love you as Blunts and More, but being that they're managing the store, I felt conflicted, but I need to show you something. And she sent it to me in an email, and I opened it. And I was looking, I'm like, okay, this look like some books. I said, what is this? She's like, these are the accurate books. Every dollar that they was supposed to be paying the vendors, they was paying themselves. And I caught them. And so they were trying to like, all right, well, we're going to sue you. I'm like, well, sue me with what? Y'all don't have nothing to stand on, because I never showed them the document.
Yeah.
I just kept threatening them and saying I had it. And then a lawyer finally, I got my lawyer, and then I showed him the document. He was like, oh, yeah, they ain't got nothing to stand on. Don't worry about this. So I got them to drop. They were trying to sue me for what I don't know, defamation or something, but whatever. Dropped it all. They let it go. So I was able to take over my store for the last 6 months, from September of 2023 to March of 24. I ran the store for the first time ever. Like, ran it from the books to the ordering of the weed. Every penny was accounted for. Every dollar was accounted for the first time under my watch. And I got to see that, yeah, I could be making money if I wasn't being stolen from. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
But that's just what happened. I really wanted to stay open. I really, really did. I miss my staff. I miss the community. I also opened the first smoke lounge in Oakland history, outdoor smoke lounge. It was at my store on the patio called the Happy Lounge. I used to have events in the Happy Lounge, let people like have comedy shows or just different things in the lounge. Wouldn't charge them a dime. As long as you get 50 people here to come buy something in the store, even if it's 50 lighters, they've supported the business. Come have your fun. I provide speakers, the microphones, lighting, all that. Just come here and have your event. It's safe. It's blocked off. You got security with armed. You got parking. Come here. So I try to create that space, and I do miss that. But there was no teams. I have no teams no more. There's no Walmart over there no more. There's no In-N-Out. So I'm in a desert, and I lost 50% of my foot traffic.
Is that because you had to move locations?
No, it's because the teams move locations.
Yeah.
So my store was right across from where the A's, the Warriors,
teams.
they left. So once they left, that was a lot of my traffic. Game days were where I made my traffic. You know what I'm saying? Pandemic hit. People weren't going to stadiums. It was a lot. But I still reopened. Then I get robbed 2 more times. The most recent time was October of 23, and they ran a car through the lounge into the store, and it was about this close from hitting the beam that would have just took the whole building down.
Were you there when it happened?
No, but I saw it happen. I was watching on camera, and it was like what they got was not even worth what we had to spend to fix it. Like, I didn't even file a claim. We just fixed it and opened back up. It wasn't no point. Just like you drove a car through the business to get what, maybe $300 worth of weed. That's all they got. So it was just a lot, and I was like, with that and that and that, I said, look, staff, I'm gonna pay y'all up. I'm gonna give y'all some good severance, and then if y'all need letters of referral, cool. But I paid my staff, I want to say, enough to have a whole month off of work, like a month and a half off of work, each staff member, and I gave them a raise of like $7 each before we closed. So they had like a 3-month window with a $7 raise for everybody. I almost said their names, but the people I was partnering with wouldn't get them raises. I would be in meetings like, bruh, give these people raises. They make $18, $19 an hour. Give them a raise. They should be making like $25. They wouldn't do it because they was stealing. So when I took control, I gave them their raise. I saved some money. I bought a house because I'm like, shit, I knew I'm finna close. Let me put up some of my own money. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't stealing because everything was what I needed to do. But let me get some money. And then I bankrupted the LLC. So I still own the IP for Blunts and More. I can go open up whenever I want. Happy Lounge, whatever. I got a delivery service coming. But a lot of people don't realize I had to learn from dealing with who I was dealing with. The value of having an LLC is because it's a limited liability company.
Yes, right.
So it limits your liability when you got bad debt from people who falsify documents or stealing or not paying vendors, not paying taxes. They can't come after Alfonso personally or this business because it's a limit. So I was able to walk away. What I said all that to say. Scot-free. Go ahead.
The most unfortunate part of this story, and it's to sound like a broken record for me, like talking Oakland, is it breaks my. I'm not even from Oakland. You guys are. You tell this story, like, and you have such a giving heart. I mean, listening to like you want to bring everybody and have everybody succeed.
Yep.
Jokingly, I can say, listening to your story, you had a better setup when you were selling weed at the grocery store.
Man,
and now
you
literally come all this way.
Full circle to not make
You know what I mean?
money.
And it just breaks my heart.
Crazy.
I'm sure Oakland gets a bad rap, but the shit is real though. I mean, like you're getting robbed over and over again. How do you manage to get? I mean, I was waiting. I was just waiting to hear part of the story of like, man, when are you going to shut the doors? I mean, it's just so sad to hear.
That's when I got to the point. I was sitting with my wife and I told her, I said, I think I'm gonna close in March. But no, let me be clear. I would have stayed there if the landlord would allow me to stay there. But once I caught them stealing, they're like, I'm not renewing the lease. And I was still gonna work out with them. I'm like, look, we can still be landlord tenant because there's no way for you to get over. You get out of my books. I control all my books. Give me my QuickBooks. It's all my stuff. I'll rent from you, no problem. The space is still here. Give me another 5 years so I can at least make some money now that I know I can, and then I'll leave. He didn't want to see me make no money. So I had to leave, not only because I had to go, but I had to go.
What they going to do with that space, though, man?
No, they turned it into some more grow rooms, but they're not even in business anymore. They sold it to somebody else.
Wow.
Am
Karma.
I tripping? Like, I could be, maybe I'm totally off, but I could have sworn when we went to the Oakland Coliseum, can you see this space?
Yeah, it was a big orange building.
You pointed it out to us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, now this is all for
That
full
was my
circle.
store.
Yeah.
That was
That's
my store.
crazy.
Yes,
Yep.
no doubt, man.
that was Blunt's
it
More.
just it drives me wild though, because it's like, man, yeah, they got over for a second, but this could have been money from this point forwards. It doesn't make any sense to me if you're a
understand
businessman.
it. I said, look, y'all, I get how y'all do business. Like I said, when me learning about LLCs, I see how they got down. They had like 15 LLCs. I was paying rent to different LLCs every month.
So yeah, they
was on some. You understand what I'm talking about?
100%.
So I get it. Okay, cool. But dude, why are we even doing that? Like we really have. If y'all really get behind me and help me with the funding that y'all been stealing, and we put it in the marketing and do the stuff that we need to do, we have the first outdoor consumption lounge in Oakland ever. We have a parking lot space. We have a good store. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
How do y'all? But they were so greedy. I'm not greedy like that. I want everybody to eat. You know what I'm saying? So their greed is why Blunts and More couldn't thrive like I needed to. But luckily for me, I was able to build enough of a name for myself in this legal space so people know it wasn't me.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, even the vendors, like, so when I fired them, I reached out to every vendor, every single vendor in my store that we owe money to. And I said, hey, this is say your balance was $300. Your balance, even though they were way higher. We talking about, they hadn't paid people upwards of $10,000, $20,000.
Man.
It was bad. Then there were some vendors who were dropping off weed in March, wouldn't get paid. They dropped some weed off in, let's just say June, wouldn't get paid. But the people are telling them, oh, well, Tucky, we just need it right now. We just got robbed with social equity. Help us out. And since they love me, these are people who have never met me. I've never seen these people. But they love me and what I represent. They're like, oh, if Tucky need it, we're going to help him. Tucky ain't said nothing about this. So I'm calling all the vendors, clearing it up with all of them. I'm like, look, there's no way I can pay y'all this balance. Can we go half? You take your half, I'll take a half, and then you get back in the store. And then when you come in the store, we're doing COD. The most I can pay you is $2,000 an order. But every time I'll give you $2,000 no matter what. We'll do it. You're getting your cash right away. You're not waiting on it. I had 95% of the vendors say, yeah, we'll fuck with that.
That's great, man.
Most of them said, we don't even want to charge you. Like, you know, just for you calling us, because like we've been expecting a call. Like, no one called us back. They were telling the accounting people not to reach out to them. And that's falling over to me.
It does.
I'm a public person. I go outside. I be outside with my kids, my wife. Like, I don't need nobody. I've never had I had some high school funk, but I don't have funk.
Yeah.
So I don't need people running up on me. These are people's livelihoods. Y'all not paying people that need to run their business. That's not cool.
Yeah.
And once I called, it was like, Tucky, we just glad that you called, and just you doing that alone, no, we cool, we don't want it. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
Let's just start fresh. We do the 2000s, no problem. And I did that till we closed, and it brought our name back. Because even though people knew it wasn't me, Blunts and More was leaving a sour name in people's mouth. Just sour overall because they're like, oh, Blunts and More don't pay people. And it's like, nah. I don't have no debt, even in my real life. My realtor can tell you.
That's
He
right.
can tell you about my
That's
credit,
right.
bro. I just went to Lexus the other day, traded my car. I got an A21 right now.
Man, hey.
They came back.
Listen.
I said, they got a little different pep in their step coming back. She sold me that paper. I said, oh, shit, I see why. A21. Give me whatever car I want.
Hey, I see credit reports all day, every day, and I don't see nothing up that way, man. That's impressive, man.
So, yeah, no, I just, like you said, I really am. I'm not, this ain't just for no camera. I really, every day of my life, think of ways to connect people to get money.
Yeah.
And don't expect nothing in return.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Here's what I think and I know, man. The right person gonna find you to team up the right way, man, because all you have to do is have somebody with that just does right by people and has some business acumen.
Yep.
You guys together, that Blunts and More would be a thriving business if it wasn't for stealing.
Yes.
Period.
100%.
Period.
100%.
And with no end in sight and with growth.
I was waiting on franchising. I got a franchise package because my franchise package is so, they're like, bro, you don't even want nothing. I said, no. I wanted 3% after 3 years. Because I know it's going to take you about 3 years to make a profit.
That's crazy.
I want 3% of gross. That's it. And to give me 100,000, I think it's like 122,000 for my franchise fee because I want to just clear 100,000. I'll probably have to spend like 22 on taxes. Give me 100,000 up front and 3% of gross after 3 years. If I do that across the country and I got 30 stores, you do the math. I don't have to be greedy. If they making at least $3 million a year and I'm getting 3% of that on the gross side,
man, it's just wild, man. People are so short-sighted, man.
they just was greedy. Like, dude, the 6 months I ran the store with no stealing, that's why I couldn't understand. I'm like, man, y'all keep saying we in the red. How? There's no way. I see what we selling. I see the numbers every night. Like, what am I missing? We keep downsizing this. We keep not doing this. We're not paying no raises. Why? But it's because they were stealing. When I was able to control the bill, that's why I said I gave all my staff members $7 raises, some of them upwards of $10, and it didn't miss a beat. We still paid every bill, everything, and had money. I said, oh yeah, they were stealing big bucks.
Man,
big bucks.
It's crazy. I know. Growing up in Oakland, I've always allowed people they can get over on me. Once you know it, then there's no looking back. With that being said, the higher I get in business and when I'm dealing with people in general, I always want to know how the money flows because I need to know people's intent.
Yep.
But the other part of it is, like, even when you have contracts, if you have to sign a contract for a year, you need to trap me and you don't want to back out. So I'm talking about just random stuff. So I'm always weary when it comes to that. If there ain't transparency, then we just can't do it, man. Bro. Like, there should be, if me and you are sitting across from something and we can't look at numbers together, say in and out and everything like that, if that's a tough point for you, I'm not trusting. I'm sorry.
It's to the point where it's just like a handshake ain't even good no more. It's like, I look people in the eye, I take you at your word, you gonna take me in mine, I'm thinking we cool. Word don't mean shit no more.
No.
Like, it's bad because it's almost force you to want to get in a contract to just say that you're not gonna do this, you're not gonna do that. But like I told both parties who got over and anybody else that's listening, if you're on that and you want to get over, they could have just told me. I wish if they had just told me from the jump, hey, we're trying to use this to score and do something else, we could have worked that out. At least I would know. Because I'm a hustler. Like, all right, if that's what you want, all right, cool. This is how we make that play.
Yeah.
You do your thing, you cut, go do your... It would have been much cleaner.
Yeah.
But since you're going into it and you ain't even warming, you being negative, that's why it's ending this way. That's why you can't go nowhere and open nowhere because your name is shit right now.
Yeah.
But that's if I told both of them, y'all could have just tanked to me from the jump.
Seriously.
And said, this is what we own. We want to steal and we want to do this. We could have just talked about that. I'm serious. I don't mean that as a joke. I am serious.
That would have been a great conversation.
Because my thing is, if you know that that's what you own, if you don't believe like me that this is going to be something that's going to work in the future, don't strip that from me by stealing them.
Exactly.
Just tell me, hey, I really don't think this is going to go nowhere. I want to steal about $2 million, and let's figure that out. Because I could have been on that with you.
Yeah.
I could have joined that parade and been like, all right, cool. And I could have been up a couple M's if I wanted to participate like that. But I never got that opportunity.
Wow.
Which is good, though. A loss is a lesson.
It is.
So
All right.
I learned a lot.
You learned a lot. Tucky, what happens next?
So for me right now, I'm working on more speaking engagements with my Tuck Talk series, and just I got a book I'm writing now with my writer. Shout out my writer Sonia, and that came from my CPA. My CPA was like, Tucky, you need to write a book, bro. You need to get some of that subject matter expert money. You need that 40,000 just to bring you out to talk. I'm like, wait, they paying people that to go talk? He was like, yes, and you need to go get it. So for me, more speaking engagements, getting on more platforms like you guys, platform that aren't just weed platforms. I feel like I have a story and knowledge on a lot of things, and I think I need to share that with more people than just weed heads. You know what I'm saying? Like, nothing wrong with that, but it's like, no, there's other people that can use some of this tutelage
For
too.
sure.
And then I like learning from other people. I'm a big learner. So I just want to get in more rooms and be around more people who are doing better than me, hustling harder than me, working harder than me, learning more than me, more businesses than me. I need people that make me want to do better.
I love it.
Crazy, just weird story, random. My guy, Side Collective, make these shoes and these pants. He hit me the other day. We talk all the time. He was in my wedding, but he hit me out of the blue on this particular day, just random. Was like, hey, I need to smoke right now. And I'm like, well, come over. I'm at the house. Pull up.
Yeah.
He like, no, I can't drive. So in my mind, reading it on the text, I'm thinking something is wrong. I'm like, all right, I'm on my way. I get over there, and this is a great thing. I text him like, babe, this is great. But I get over there, and he's like, I ain't been able to sleep in 3 days. I'm like, what's wrong? He was like, man, I got so much I'm working on for the new year that I'm excited about. And I think I got happy, like anxiousness. Like, I said, you know what? I think I be having that too, but I didn't realize it. Like, said that to say he's so excited about what he has coming up in the future for his brands and his company that is keeping him up at night.
That's crazy.
That's the kind of people I want to be around.
Man.
You know what I'm saying?
I love that.
Like, that's what motivates me. Like, I mean, of course, kids and all that, but to have friends, associates, younger or older, because I feel like I can learn from somebody old, young. I don't care about that. But having them kind of people around you is what keeps me going. You know what I'm saying? So that's basically what's next for me is more rooms, more speaking. I got the delivery service finna kick off. And that Black Cultural Zone that I mentioned, I'm doing some work with them, some really, really positive work with them as one side as a subcontractor, kind of like an independent contractor for like help them get their marketing better and the word out about who they are. But then they have a position for a community liaison that I applied for and got. So I actually went and applied for a job because I felt there was a need there. And like I told them, like I want to do this work.
Yeah.
I can overproduce. So I'm excited. I'm excited for what 2025 and 26 are gonna bring. Oh, and I'm gonna start training people how to detail cars again.
There it is.
So yeah, I forgot we bought a detail van recently. So my son's gonna be actually doing the detailing and ceramic coating. I went and got my certification for that. So if y'all need y'all car ceramic coated, call your guy.
Yes, sir.
But I'm finna start training again people how to detail. I'm actually working with developmentally disabled people to teach them how to do basic washes and details. And I've worked in that community before. I was a secretary for the Developmental Disabilities Council when I worked for the county. And then one of my sisters is developmentally disabled. So I'm actually really, really looking forward to doing that work because I know how to do the work and I'll be teaching about something I really love. So I'm looking forward to that.
Incredible. Yeah.
The give back is in full motion, but I'm getting paid too.
I love it, man. Hey, and I do got a Sacramento-based question here. Did you see that they're starting their pilot program for cannabis cafes, and it just passed just a couple
Yes.
What you think about that, man?
So shout out Miss Maisha Bahati at Crystal Nugs. I stay apprised with all the things going up in Sac. I've been here protesting a few times. What these local municipalities need to understand, the lounge and the cafe culture is what is going to help bring y'all some money. I think these people that are on these boards do not, most of them never hustled before, so they don't get it. I went with this with the city. What I was trying to create at Blunts and More is exactly what y'all just kind of proved. You have food, you have your weed, you have somewhere where you can use both safely. You're not buying your weed and trying to find somewhere to go park. You can park right here, come in this lounge, have your smoke, have your food, chill for 2-3 hours, and then go home.
Yeah.
You should be able to do that. Just like I can go to a bar, buy my drink, sit there for 2-3 hours, and go home. Why can't I do that with weed?
Yeah.
And to them, they just don't understand it. We need to be able to have those spaces, and it brings money to the community. People will fly in from out of town to come to your smoke lounge. That's revenue for the city. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Yeah.
used to tell the city of Oakland all the time, like, lower y'all taxes. But they're like, no, we need the high taxes to do this, that, and the other. It's like, well, no, if you lower them, my customers will buy more product, which in turns means more tax money. But they've never hustled, so they don't understand that logic.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for what I think SAC is for California. I think they're taking the baton and running with it, with their approvals of what they're working on, because they see it's a need, and people like Maisha and just other people in the community are making them aware of the need for it. We need it. We need safe spaces to consume cannabis.
Man, it's crazy.
Like
The politics are so ass crack backwards in California. We need to be able to smoke this weed in public.
Yes.
Like,
And by the way, it's really good for businesses because there's all different types of marijuana smokers. For me personally, when I smoke, I'm ready to eat.
yes.
I mean, who doesn't?
Most
man?
people got the
You act
munchies.
like that. Groundbreaking,
like, come
man.
on. Like, I just couldn't
I
understand.
know
it.
people that don't get the munchies that
I do
bad.
too. I do too. But it's just like, no, even if it's not the munchies, I may want to sit down and have. I still understand why you can't have weed and drinking both, but that's a whole nother thing. Because if you can do both, there's an Uber. Like I don't like. I'm grown. If I want to have a drink and have a smoke, I should be able to. But they haven't mixed those yet. But I think it's also going to take, and this is something that people don't really think about. We need to vote in these local elections and get people in locally that align with what we want them to do. Because by the time it gets to the presidential, it's too late. But we're not taught about that anymore in schools or just in life. You don't really hear about checks and balances anymore. My kids didn't even get taught cursive. You know what I'm saying? How they supposed to sign a signature? You know what I'm saying? So it's little things that are being done on purpose that people aren't really paying attention to. And even if you do vote these people in locally and they don't do what they're supposed to do, we are in a democracy. You have the right to challenge them and say, you didn't do what you're supposed to do. You need to get out of here. We're not exercising those rights. So until a lot of that changes, a lot of people don't really think about that, but that is affecting a lot of the weed laws too, these local elections, who we're putting in offices.
So you said that we're SAC's working on.
No, that just got announced. I think it was like October.
So
It's a pilot program is going on. There's about to be weed cafes in Sacramento. Didn't even know that, did you?
did not know that.
But and that's another thing I've been working on too, with stuff that I'm working on. Because I have a cannabis event license. So I have an event license where I can throw events up and down California where I can have sales, smoke, everything. But the language, I'm working on the jazz festival right now to have in Stockton. The guy was like, is it a weed party? No, it's a jazz festival. We'll just happen to have weed.
Yeah.
When you label something a weed party or a weed event, it tends to attract negative attention.
For sure.
And a certain type of vibe around it. I'm really trying to work on language. If people like, I want to do art shows.
Yeah.
And you want to get your weed, here go a menu, QR code, you scan it, I'll pull up a delivery truck, walk it right into you. Now you're here, you got your weed, you're able to do your thing. But if you label it a weed party, police might be outside fucking with it just because.
Yep.
I can have an art show and the police won't come.
Yep.
So it's we got to get back to, I know it's public and everybody's smoking now and it's all cute and fancy. We still need to bring some of that mystique back where it was underground. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. And I think it will flourish.
That makes complete sense to me, man. I got a question here now. I mean, you got to this point, you learned so much, but man, if you were to do it all over again, what would be different up until this point?
Honestly, Rene, I almost called you Nene.
You're more than welcome to,
I
baby.
almost did it. Honestly, Rene, Chris, I can tell you, and this is wholeheartedly because I have been asked this, I wouldn't do anything different, bro. Everything that I've ever went through, I was supposed to go through it, good or bad, high or low, because I was supposed to learn a lesson. It was a lesson that was being taught that I had to learn.
Yeah.
Sometimes you go through stuff twice because you might didn't learn that lesson. I try not to go through stuff twice. You know what I'm saying? But I did learn my lesson with the people that.
Yeah.
My lesson I learned from them is that people can really fake spreadsheets. Like I didn't know that. I've never been that deep and to think about like to have it that aligned. Like wow, but. I wouldn't do nothing different. I need to go through everything I went through because I wouldn't be with y'all if I had went another route. You know what I'm saying? So I don't regret anything. I don't like that I was a whore when I was younger. I do like to, I won't lie about that. I was very whoreful. But I'm glad I got a 19-year wife. Love her to death. Got a great family. But nah, bro, I wouldn't do nothing different because I wouldn't be here if I did.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have crossed your path if I was on a different path. It was meant for everything that happened to me, even being right here in this moment with y'all and wherever we at because we ain't telling y'all. But I'm supposed to be here. So no, I wouldn't change nothing, bro.
No question, man. And from the first instant, anybody listening to you can tell how sharp you are. And like with depth of knowledge of stuff, right? So that's a given. With that being said, you've had to learn your trials and tribulations through business before you hit the home run, right? That's what I feel. That's what I'm hearing in what's on there. So, somebody would be, the right people will be lucky when they run into you to take what the groundwork is and much to take it to the next level. So that's where I see the next for you,
I appreciate it.
So man, just an absolute wild story. It's going to bother me so much though, because everybody rolls past the Coliseum. They know Blunts and More.
People been calling me because they don't realize that I've closed. They're like, wait, bro, why you paint the building black? I'm like, it's closed. Like, wait a minute, you closed? I'm like, but I've made an announcement. I've changed the Google. I don't know why nobody knows. But yes, we're closed. But I still own the IP, the intellectual property. So I can, if anyone's listening that want to open a Blunts and More and has license access, we can open a Blunts and More. I can still open Blunts and More. I just closed that location because it was time. You have to know when to be like, all right, okay, you start adding up 5 break-ins in 6 years, 2 bad partner robberies, 3 teams done left. There's no grocery store nearby. There's no food. It's barely a gas station. What are we doing here? Like,
man, and the silver lining, you went through all of that and still was able to purchase a home.
Yes.
In one of the more challenging times to purchase a home.
Yes.
So I just got to give you your flowers for that, man, because you could have just buried your head in the sand, man, and
we was finna be homeless.
Man.
Because we had lived, the last 3 houses me and my wife have had, we've stayed in 4 houses since we've been together. All 4 were finna be sold because the landlord, we were finna get kicked out because the landlord was selling. Nothing we did, great tenants. It was all because the landlords were selling. And this last house, he just did it out of nowhere. They was having funk as a couple, and they had that, we divorcing, so y'all got to move. What? We've been living here 3. We did more work to the house, like on our own. Like, wait,
they did a ton of work to the house,
you know what I'm
man.
saying?
Like themselves as a tenant.
Because we told them that we want to buy the house, but we're thinking it's going to be 5, 6, 7 years down the line once our daughter graduates. They're like, yeah, we need a long-term tenant. Man, that man was calling us within 6 months. Yeah, you guys still thinking about buying? I'm like, yeah, but not now. I just bought some jet skis. He talking about, well, okay, I'll get back with you. He called right back in 6 months. Yeah, we're divorced. We got to sell. So it was like, I said, look, man, I'm not renting no more. It's over. Let's call Rene and figure out how to do it. And between him and my cousin, we got it work. But yeah, no, I appreciate that. It was a lot, but it was something we've been needing to do. My wife was real big on not buying. She did not want to buy a house forever. I've been trying to buy a house since we first got together. But as a good husband, I'm not gonna buy this if you're not comfortable. Now, if I'm gonna just buy it and it's just me, then that's cool. But if we're gonna be on this together, I want you to be comfortable. She was finally comfortable, and we got our first house.
Good for you guys. And here's the thing, man, you'll be able to ride this interest rate wave down. And rates come down. Watch what 25 brings, man. The values have already continued to go up, and the rates haven't been good.
I already told you. You know, we talked offline.
I know.
I didn't care. I do not care. Say what you want. Yes, I'm black, but I'm gonna keep it real.
Yeah.
There is some good stuff for Mr. Trump getting in office if you understand what you need to understand it for. Some things he's crazy as fuck on, but when it comes to the realtor stuff and just different things, business stuff, it is what it is. Like, where I can, what? I say, I was praying, like I said, I voted for Kamala. I did. But I knew that if he got in, certain stuff was going to be how it needed to be when you're a business owner and a homeowner, it's different than if you're renting. It's different things you got to look forward to. So, yeah, no,
you're 100% right on that,
I'm ready.
Man. You're 100% right on that, man. You want to hit him with the questions, man?
What does legacy mean to you?
Ooh. That's crazy. We were just talking about that in church on Sunday. Literally. Like, as a matter of fact, on the board in church was legacy, because that's what he was talking about. So for me, legacy means to me, especially when we having my kids, what I left them to be able to, be good young men and young ladies while I'm gone. And I don't mean gone physically, just not while I'm not in the room. To get compliments on my kids, to say how mannerable they are and how respectful they are and how, man, your son opened the door for me and your daughter did this and your daughter talked so well. And that's legacy for me, what I left for them. I'm trying to build legacy with my grandkids now, but that legacy is going to come from their parents. You know what I'm saying? Instill it in them. Also, I think legacy too is it's kind of like what you leave for the world to see. You know what I'm saying? What are you leaving for them to know you by? I mean, everyone doesn't live their life to be known by anything. I didn't live my life to be known as whatever. But your friends, your family, what are they gonna believe? Know about you? When you do have that funeral, and they talking over your body. What they gonna say? You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to have mine be, kind of like what we on. Positive person, try to help everybody, hard worker. Like literally what my bio say.
Yeah.
Like my bio is literally that first sentence is how I want my legacy to be known. I can't use father because they say father's only one father. My parents is crazy with the biblical stuff, but I'm a good dad. I'm a good husband. I'm a good friend. And I believe in a higher power. So my legacy should be that, but it definitely is something you want to leave for your kids. And for those that don't have kids, like I said, what are you leaving? What did you, give to this planet while you was here? And yeah, I'm trying to do best by the planet and the people around me as best I can. I really am.
Love that.
Incredible answer, man. Incredible answer. Well, all I know, you've been burnt over and over, but don't change who you are, man. I know you're not.
Bro, I'm not.
I know you're not.
I'm
You
not.
keep doing good
Yep.
like you have been,
Yep.
and it would be rewarded 100-fold for what it is, man.
What's crazy
You've
is
been
it already
doing
has
your
been.
thing,
It
man.
has been, bro. It's already been rewarded. It's a current reward. That's why it's a trip you said that. I was just saying that. Me and my homeboy, I got one of my homeboys, Lord Rab. He has a podcast called No Vultures. We do a lot of stuff together.
Yeah.
But we was just talking, and he's shrewd. Like he's like my Huey P. Like if somebody messing over me, he coming with the pistol. Not in a bad way, not a real, but you know what I'm saying. He's my guard dog, and he knows how I am. Like my phone can ring, and I'm, oh man, you know what? I got somebody I need you to talk to, and I'll just connect him just like that. He like, man, all that.
Yeah.
You're not doing that no more. I'm like, bro, I'm not gonna change. He's like, no, don't change. Do you? But everybody, you might maybe take a step back. Maybe not do it for 2 months.
Yeah.
So I've been slowly trying to work on not changing, but every time my phone ring, it's not time for me to give everybody connection every single time.
Yep.
Sometimes you want that stuff to be reciprocated. Like since my doors closed in March, I see who's been calling. I
Yep.
see who's still been checking in. I see who, okay, I got you. Because I'm like you said, we come from the Oakland era where we're givers.
Yeah.
We grew up around
100%.
community. So while I'm not seeing the community love, okay, I get it. I see who you are, but we gonna lead with the community first. I'm gonna bring you in first,
Yeah.
and then if you screw me over, then I'll let you go. But it's hard. I ain't gonna lie. Some phone calls I get right now, I be wanting to be like, nope. Just have they connected you with anybody, Tucky? Have they done anything? What can you go back and if you start going through that list of, well, damn, I done connected them 15 times.
Yeah.
And they ain't called me once, but I see them hanging with people that they know that I should know. All right, cool. I got you. I got you. So that's kind of like what I've been on. Quietly.
Man.
I think we could all learn from that. I know I can. For
Yeah,
sure.
It's hard because when you're a good, kind-hearted person and you really, again, it's just that's why you go to church. You keep coming up. I give without expecting anything in return. So when you mess over somebody like that, that's not cool. But that's going to be on you that it's not cool. You know what I'm saying? It's not on me. Why should I stop being me? Because you a shit person.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
100% right, man. Tucky, we
Yes, sir.
appreciate you
No, I
being in the
appreciate
lounge,
y'all.
man.
This was
Thank
tight.
you
This
so
was
much.
tight. This was tight. I gotta come hang out here.
Let's go.
This is nice little chill, little spot. Shit. I like good office spaces. Shit.
You know you
No,
always
this is
welcome.
tight.
This
is
your
tight.
home, big
This is
dog, all
tight.
right?
No, thank y'all. Enjoy y'all gifts too. Find me everywhere. Tucky Blunt
Yeah,
is
yeah,
everywhere.
tell 'em where to
Only
find
place
you.
I'm not Tucky Blunt is X. They won't let me do Tucky Blunt, so I'm Blunt Tucky. If you need classes or any consults, just hit me on Instagram. I'll send you my email, but I don't like giving my email out until you ask for it.
Yes,
So,
sir.
Don't waste my time, and I won't waste yours.
Let's go.
Let's go.
All right, we out.